What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody, check it out, man. Star Wars talk. If we got to talk about this situation with Star Wars and the Acolyte, because now these cats are finally admitting to the truth that this show was always bad and nobody watched it and nobody gave a damn, okay? I mean, we already knew it just by looking at this on the popcorn meter. You know, the fans pretty much wasn't rocking with this at all. And the ratings were down. It lost viewership over time. Everybody saw it, but there were still some people out there, especially the Acolyte shills in the stands, that were crying and complaining and saying, no, it's racism, it's bigotry, it's sexism. That's the reason why, the Acolyte was canceled. And, instead of actually saying, well, the reality is nobody watched the show. That's the reality of the situation. And now we're starting to get some cats admitting to that. You can see on this article here on Variety, a Disney executive reveals why the Acolyte was canceled after one season. It wasn't where it needed to be given the cost. All right. And so what they're talking about is this quote by Alan Bergman. All right. Alan Bergman is the co-chair of Disney Entertainment. They were asking about staying on the franchise front. Let's talk Star Wars. It feels like it's had a bumpier road of late compared to Marvel. The Acolyte had many strong reviews and did well in the ratings its first week out, but you ultimately opted against the second season. Why didn't you move forward? And can you offer any hint as to how the Skeleton Crew is doing or its future? Now, we already know the answer to this question. Whoever it is that asked this shit, we already know. I think this article was on Vulture. We already know what happened. All right. First of all, like this person says, Star Wars had a bumpier road compared to Marvel. Compared to almost anybody out there, any IP, any franchise you want to talk about, Disney Star Wars in 2024 shit the bed better than anybody else, man. I mean, not just the Acolyte, man. You're talking about Star Wars Outlaws, all right? And now they're talking about Skeleton Crew, the show nobody's watching, the High Republic novels and comics, nobody's buying those. But it's like, they say, basically what happened? How come you guys canceled the Acolyte? So he answers it by saying, so as it relates to the Acolyte, we were happy with our performance, but it wasn't where we needed it to be given the cost structure of that title, frankly, to go and make a season 2. Basically, nobody was watching this shit. Nobody was watching it. And he tries to blame it on the cost structure. Look, nobody was watching it, period, point blank. Regardless of how much money you spent on it, and he goes on to say that's the reason why we didn't do that, which is renew it. Skeleton Crew is in process now, so we'll see. We've seen some growth on that. We'll see how that goes. As you said, the reviews have been excellent on Skeleton Crew, so we'll have to see how that all plays out moving forward. But here's the thing, and I'm afraid I'm gonna have to agree with a little bit, just a little bit. With the Mary Sue, all right? This article on the Mary Sue, the excuse given for the cancellation of the Acolyte is frustrating. And the point that they're bringing up, they bring up a lot of wrong points, but there's one point they bring up in here that I'm absolutely going to highlight, okay? And it's the whole situation where they're saying, yeah, we were happy with our performance. It wasn't where we needed to be given the cost structure. And the first thing that you think of is like, okay, if you were happy with the performance, okay? And they say, yeah, sure. The show cost $230.1 million to make, which was reportedly over their budget. So why not just give the show a second season and just adjust the budget to accommodate what you're willing to spend on it? I kind of agree with that. All right. I think Alan Bergman is guilty of some more gaslighting. He's lying. Why wouldn't you just say, you know what? Because again, according to what he said, we were happy with our performance. All right. That means you were happy with Leslie Headland. You were happy with what Kathleen Kennedy presented. You were happy with Amanda Stenberg and diss tracks and all of that shit. You was good with the Acolyte. So, okay, if the budget is just a little too high, man, it's $230 million. I don't know if we can do that again. Okay, why not cut that in half? And say, all right, man, maybe $115 million is all we're going to give Leslie Headland for a second season. You're going to have to cut back. You're going to have to write a little bit differently. You ain't going to be able to do this. But you know what? We were happy with the performance. We liked the show. And the reality is that they didn't like the show. This cat is gaslighting again. Okay? He's gaslighting again. So, yeah, they give you some truth. But then they try to spin it backwards and say, well, the cost structure is just a little troublesome. I don't think we're going to be able to afford. Why not just reduce the cost of the show? The reality is you saw this. This is what you saw, Alan Bergman. You saw the fans ain't fucking with this show, and you said, we're done. Okay? I don't care how much money we putting into it. We are done. This 18% right here, okay? This 18% on Rotten Tomatoes and the brand damage that was done to this franchise over and above all the other brand damage that was done, all right? Last Jedi included. I mean, Last Jedi was the beginning of the end. This is the end. They was like, oh, hell no. Nah, man, pull the plug on this whole thing. This is what the fans are saying? They didn't hate The Last Jedi like they hate The Acolyte. Oh, hell no. No, we got to pull the plug on this. I don't care if we spent 10 cents on this shit. We can't do this again. It doesn't matter how much money you spent. When you see 18% like this, oh, hell no. You got to pull the plug. That's the reason why they canceled it, because the fans ain't rocking with this crap. Power of one, power of two, power of many. The power of brand damage is what got this thing pulled. Let's just be honest about it, okay? Yeah, I get the whole monetary cost. And I think that's why the Mary Sue was kind of frustrated, okay? Because they're saying, yeah, it's an easy fix, especially if it means providing fans with a second season. Instead, this feels like an excuse given as to why you didn't want to continue it, you know? And then they go on and talk about, oh, it's racism and sexism and all that. No. It's just that nobody was watching it and everybody hated it, okay? Everybody hated it. And if you keep doing this, all right, you keep doing this to your franchise, what are you going to have after, you know, the next 5 to 10 years? You're going to have a busted up franchise that nobody's watching, which is basically where Star Wars is at right now. Skeleton Crew can't even chart in the top 10, y'all. This is the problem. And see, that's why I say the gaslighting continues. They're telling you some truths, all right? But the gaslighting is going to continue until Disney gets rid of Kathleen Kennedy. Then I bet you after Disney gets rid of Kathleen Kennedy, all the truth is going to come out. Oh, yeah, nah, this was just hot garbage, man. Everything Kathleen was doing over there, bro, we don't even understand what it was. We were just letting her go because she knows where all the bodies are buried, all right? She's a made woman in Hollywood. We can't touch her. We got to wait for her ass to finally walk out of here. Hey, please retire. I guarantee you that's what Disney is begging and pleading for right now. Can you please just leave? Go. Damn. Look what you're doing to the $4 billion purchase from Bob Iger. Bob Iger got to be like beside himself. Like, I can't believe I did that shit, y'all. Fuck. I fucked up majorly. Why did I let this woman continue to run the show? I should have fired her back in 2015, 2018. 2018 is when Kathleen Kennedy should have got her walking papers and been up out of there. That was the last straw. Solo lost money. That movie that they pumped an additional, like, I don't know, like $200 million in to reshoot the entire movie. That sucker lost money. Man, we got to pull the plug. We got to go. But yeah, nah, they can't do it, okay? And so now you got cats kind of pissed off over here. Yeah, this person, Alicia, this is the one that posted this up. So Disney was happy with their performance in The Acolyte. At the same time, it wasn't where it needed to be given the cost structure. This is corporate talk bullshit, and they're being purposely obtuse. They are. And no, they're not going to renew The Acolyte. I'm sorry, Alicia. They're not going to renew The Acolyte, man. I feel like if they were so happy with how The Acolyte performed and the budget was that big of an issue, they could have easily adjusted the budget to make a season 2. Their hands aren't tied. Again, they're being purposely obtuse, but I guess it's easier to tout bullshit than to say with their chest why they actually wanted to cancel The Acolyte anyway. Hashtag save The Acolyte. The Acolyte should get 4 to 6 episodes with the $100 million budget like Ahsoka to finish the story. Trouble is, I don't think Leslie Headland would go for it, and she certainly shouldn't get $250 million more. Well, Commander Brom Titus, this is a perfectly reasonable answer if you believe his first part. If you believe this shit that he said up here, that they were happy with the performance, then yeah, it absolutely makes sense. Oh yeah, 4 to 6 episodes, we good. We can knock that out for $100 million, finish up this story, whatever. Done. But they already know that it's brand damage. You're just paying another $100 million to fuck your franchise even more than it's already fucked. Why would you do that? There's no purpose behind it. They pulled the plug because, once again, of this number. 18%. Nobody was watching it. And like I said, because people are going to come out, oh, it's review bombed. You can't review bomb a legitimately good show. If a show is legitimately good, you cannot review bomb that show. I don't care how many racists and bigots and everything else that you think exist out there that are going to pull themselves out of the woodworks to come and dog walk a show. You're never going to get people to absolutely review bomb show that is actually good. The overwhelming majority of people that say, yo, this is a good show. I don't know what people are talking about. This is a great show. A ton of people would come and give it thumbs up and 5 stars and everything else up under the sun if it was legitimately good. But because it's not legitimately good, it is what it is. And then they saw nobody was watching it. Again, you can't review bomb a legitimately good show, and legit good shows get great viewership because even over time, people keep watching them and people keep watching them. Eventually, like Andor, like over time, people watched Andor. It didn't get watched the first season, like that first run, but then it started to pick up. The viewership kept going up. People kept saying, yo, Andor is actually legitimately good. And they saw the viewership increase. That's not happening with The Acolyte. Otherwise, they would say, hey, you know what? The Acolyte's doing not bad. We're going to go ahead and, green light a season 2. So again, you get some truth, all right? But then you also get some bullshit to go along with the truth. And that's the reality of Disney Star Wars. This is the reason why these franchises fail, because they, instead of being honest and firing Kathleen Kennedy, this chick didn't know what she was doing. We got to get her ass up out of here. Instead of doing that, they just continue to double and triple down on nonsense. All right. So it is what it is. You get what you get. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation. It's just hilarious when you see this stuff starting to come out, but they still try to gaslight you in the end. All right. They never will give you the full truth. And I don't think we'll ever get the full truth of what's going on over there at Disney Star Wars. Why Kathleen Kennedy got to lay around through all of the turmoil. Why is she still there? I want to hear that story. All right. That story is more interesting than anything Disney Star Wars has produced. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.